Hi, I'm Deborah Centella with Aquaseas Realty, and I'm here today to discuss what not to do when selling your home. Um, I am a listing agent and a buyer's agent. There are some agents out there that only list homes, and there's some agents that only work with buyers, never listing any houses. I happen to do both. But I do get a lot of feedback when I am showing property with my buyers, and I figured I would pass along some tips to you if you're planning on selling your house, what you shouldn't do. Just based on buyers in the past, my experience with buyers, their feedback. The first thing, the most important thing, the number one thing that I get the most negative feedback for is when the sellers are there during the showings. It really makes the buyers uncomfortable. It does not allow them to look around like they would want to because they feel so uncomfortable. So don't be home during your showings. It really shortens the showing. The buyers just want to hurry up and get out of there. And I have never I've been doing this for 6 years, I have never had a buyer put an offer in on a home when the sellers were there. So try to go for a walk if you don't want to actually leave, or even sitting outside on the front patio or back patio. I know that some some sellers that have stayed in the past will tell us, oh, okay, I'm going to be in the office while you're in here, or I'm just going to be sitting in my bedroom while you're in here. And a lot of times I'll just be on the couch, just watching TV. Don't mind me. Look around. What that portrays to the buyer is this is your home. I mean, obviously it is your home, but it doesn't let the buyer see themselves in your home. It just portrays the idea that they are invading your space. This is your space. This is your home, and they could never, ever see themselves living there. Plus, like I said, it shortens the showing. They really don't look around. They just want to hurry up and get out. The second thing is do not neglect to fix things. I see a lot of things that should have been fixed, little tiny things that you don't think matter to a buyer or it's going to make a huge difference. I see a lot of cracked light switches or outlets. They're, I think, less than $1 at the home improvement stores. Very easy to change out. Just little things that are broken, like I said, that you wouldn't think, like a cabinet might be crooked, that might need to be tightened up, or a drawer might not close all the way. These little things give the impression to the buyers that you have not maintained the home, or you don't even care to maintain the home. And how long has the home been uncared for? That's the image that's put into the buyer's home. So those little things, go ahead and fix them. It looks better anyway, and you don't want it to become an issue. Number 3, this is going to be a hard one for me as well, because not only am I an agent, I am getting ready to put my house on the market. I am in the market for a new home. We're ready to downsize. Kids are going off to college, so it's that time. So I am on the other side of the fence as well. I have been looking at homes myself as a buyer. So to get emotional is very hard when I go to put my house up for sale, because my children grew up in this house. They came home from the hospital to this house. Our house has been with us and our family their whole lives. So it's very hard. It's an emotional thing. So when I get ready to list my house, and I've already decided, and I discussed this with my broker, is I am not going to price the home myself. My broker is going to help me with the figures and give me a CMA on my house, do the market value for it, and I'm going to go with whatever she says, because it is an emotional thing for me. So I'm just going to say, if you do get an offer, don't take it personal. It is business. Your buyers are going to try and lower your price a little bit. There are a few that really go very low. And I understand that it's hard not to get insulted by those offers, but they're just trying. So my suggestion is, don't get too emotional. Don't be haste in your decision. Sleep on it overnight. And in the morning, discuss it with your agent, what you would like to do to counter. You have a buyer, perfect time for negotiation. Don't scare them away by yelling that you don't ever want to work with them. You're insulted. You have a buyer. More likely than not, they're going to be willing to come up. So now's your time to negotiate. The next thing is, don't leave your house a mess for showings. A lot of times, I would say 20% of the time when we're out looking at homes with buyers, the houses are not very clean. There's dishes in the sink. There's laundry piled up. A lot of times we've walked into bathrooms where there's clothing on the floor, and wet towels, and beds are not made. It doesn't have to be model perfect, but it does, or it should, look presentable. Because if that is your idea of being acceptable for a showing, it puts the idea in the buyer's head that what does this house look like when nobody's coming to the house? So just keep that in mind. The next thing is, don't forget to declutter. This is a big one, and it's also an emotional thing too as well, because you're packing up things that are part of your life. Even though they are things that you've had in your home for a long time. I recently had to declutter, and I'm going to tell you, I have a whole storage unit full of boxes of stuff that I've already decluttered in my home. Things that I don't need on a day-to-day basis. I went through every room. Whatever I don't need daily went into a box. And to tell you the honest truth, I thought it was going to be hard, but I don't even remember what's in those boxes anymore. I don't miss them. So you're going to end up having to pack it away anyway. Your intention is, when you're selling your house, is to move out of the house. So do it now, get it over with, and the house would look so much more, have more space, or give the illusion that there's more space when a lot of your stuff is gone. And on the same note, you might want to depersonalize as well, which this I found very hard. I had a lot of photos of my family on my wall. I had going up my stairs. I had a photo collage of my kids as they grew up, from babies all the way to their graduations. And it was very hard for me to let go of those, but I'm not throwing them away. I was just packing them up for the new house. So I do miss seeing my pictures though, but it's just short term. So I know that it's going to help with the sale of the house, depersonalizing it. And I've had a few sellers who tell me, oh, but it looks like a family lives here and we want to portray that. And I understand that, but when your family's hanging up on the wall, it makes the buyers, it makes it hard for them to see their family living there. Once again, they feel, even though it is your home still, they feel like it is your home and cannot picture it being their home. And then the next thing, don't ask for too much money. Again, this is why I have to ask my broker to price my house, because I am emotionally attached. Whatever it was you paid for it, whether it 5 years ago or 20 years ago, it's not worth the same amount of money that you paid for it. I know I've had some people tell me, well, we've had the house for 30 years. We put a new roof on it, a new AC. We've done things to the house, and that's great. Those are all part of maintaining a home. It's not something that's going to add $20,000, $30,000 worth of value to your home. It will add value, but not necessarily what you put into it you're going to get back. It's going to make your home more desirable, without a doubt, that you have a new roof or a newer AC and newer updates, but it's not necessarily going to give you that money back in your pocket. I have seen some sellers who have put in $70,000 to $100,000 worth of updates into a home that is not worth those updates. And that's just something that, you're going to have to remember, that you enjoy those updates, but it doesn't mean that, you know, you're going to get your full $70,000 to $100,000 back on the house. Your home is only going to be worth what the market says somebody's willing to pay for it. Again, one other thing, I think I have one more other thing. Oh, don't leave your pets at home. I'm going to have this problem. Don't leave your pets at home during showings. Been to a lot of showings where dogs are kept in the cages and the crates in certain areas of the home, and the whole time the dogs are barking. And all my buyers want to do, because I can't even think, they can't even hear themselves, is leave. And every single time that there has been a barking dog, we have never seen the full house. They want to leave before we've seen everything. Unless you know that your dog is not going to bark, please take your dog with you. I did have one seller who did leave her little 2 dogs that she had in a crate because she did work, and she did not have somebody that was able to take the dogs during the showing. She couldn't leave work to get them. And every feedback that I got was that the dogs were quiet. They were great. They were cute. They were wagging their little tail. And her dogs never bark during showings. And some dogs don't. But if you know that your dogs are going to bark because there's strangers entering their house, take them with you. Go for a walk with them around the neighborhood when your buyers are, you know, show up to the house. The last thing I want to leave you with, and I wasn't going to put this on the list, but I've been seeing this more and more, is open up the curtains, open up your blinds. Nobody wants to walk into a house that's a dark dungeon. You want it to be airy and bright, and you don't want it to give that dark, gloomy impression to your buyers. Bright is always better, especially if you have a great view. Why would you want to block it? So that's it. Those are my tips for what not to do when selling your home. So I hope this helps you and you get your home sold quick. Have a good one.